the Tyrod Taylor Cover Band League. It's more than a cover band.
Guys, it's your boy, Kansas City Kunai With Chain. I have been switching back and forth decisions all morning. I yesterday got the unfortunate news Sam Laporta is going to be on the IR. So he's out a minimum of 4 weeks. So my tight end is no longer set. And forget. And Drake London was questionable up until like this morning as well with his sickness and back. I thought for sure he'd be out having both of those things. So I was like, Kyle Pitts is going to come through for me because without Drake London there, he's the number one receiver, even though he still has not caught touchdown. So maybe Bijan's the number one receiver when he's not there. I don't know. But yeah, Drake London's playing. He's just miraculous and great, and he's just going to get in there and do it with a back and with a soreness and screw it. And he's had 25 or more points in four of his last 5 games, so I can't sit him if he's playing, and that means that if he's in and Bijan's in, Kyle Pitts ain't getting a touchdown. Watch him get like 3 touchdowns this week, and I'm gonna look stupid, but I don't think so. So I don't know, maybe Mark Andrews, but he's completely reliant on a touchdown. Maybe Laporta's backup. I know Dan Campbell mentioned that they have complete faith in Wright, so maybe I just throw in the backup and hope for the best. I don't know. I'm against Koala, or Killer Kowalski. So I need high-powered offense. I need big points here, and yeah, things are looking worrisome. If anybody wants to trade for Laporta, he will be back for like fantasy playoffs, but I don't know. Everybody's kind of got good tight ends, so I don't know. I don't know, guys. Good luck to everybody in the games.
So, as I said in the trade thing, I had a feeling that this week was going to be a rough week. Oh my gosh, I just got the notification. Again, I have 2 Packers players who just left the game. Jordan Love is out of the game with a shoulder injury, and apparently Josh Jacobs just left the game with a knee injury. I already knew this was going to be a rough week, but I didn't realize it was going to be stupid. Oh my goodness. And then I had the gut feeling of, I shouldn't play Odunze this week. I don't know. I just have a gut feeling that I should put Deebo Samuel in. And it might punish me. Right now, it's looking like Odunze is going to have a decent game. He's already got 1 reception for like 24 yards. So I'm feeling good about that. But I had a gut feeling to put Deebo Samuel in over him, and he ended up getting like 20.5. So this could be a rough week. I'm hoping it's not, but fantasy can be cruel sometimes, man. It can be very cruel.
As the games go on, my hopes lessen and lessen that my amazing performances will bring me a victory. Christian McCaffrey continues to go up. Travis Kelce continues to go up. Mark Andrews continues to sit still at his 4. I don't know. Tonight I do have CD and Jameer, but he has a counter with Pickens and Amon-Ra St. Brown. So, yeah, it's not looking good. I do not have high hopes for my team that has let me down pretty much every chance they've gotten to this year. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Unfortunately, everything went exactly as I expected. And, yeah, Christian McCaffrey got every single touchdown for the 49ers, felt like. He's at a 35. Travis Kelce has his best game of the entire season. And Mark Andrews hasn't touched the ball since the first quarter. So, he's going into tonight's games. Well, there's still 2 minutes left in one game and 8 minutes left in the other, so he has time to pile it on. Probably will, knowing my luck. And then, yeah, tonight we both have 2 players of equal caliber going, and he has a 21-point lead. So it looks like I'll drop to 4-7 and pretty much destroy any hopes I have of making the winner bracket come playoff time. So I'm already out of the money. Season's a wash. GG to Alex. You showed while you're at the top of the standings, and yeah.
So it is approximately 7:20 on Sunday night, and my team is completely done playing, and we only scored a whopping 105.4 points. In a lot of leagues, that is good, but in our league, it is very low. I typically score around 140, 150 points, and that is my second lowest total of this season. And it's primarily because both Jordan Love and Josh Jacobs and even Davante Adams all had injury questions surrounding the game or going into the game. Davante Adams did end up playing, got a single reception for a single yard that resulted in a touchdown, took away some points from Puka Nacua, and evened it out a little bit with Matthew Stafford. So that trade ended up going through on the perfect week. And my opponent, as of right now, only has 79.3 points, in which he will have one player going into Monday night and the Lions defense playing like right now. And so it's definitely possible. We're up by like 26 point something, 26 and some change, and it has me at about a 48% chance to win. And I'm hoping Philly just absolutely destroys the Lions defense, gets them in the negative, and then Ashton Jeanty, who's crushed against bad defenses, which the Dallas are arguably the worst. I think them, the Steelers, and somebody else are all competing for the worst spot. I hope even if he explodes, we are able to pull it out, because we've had some clutch performances. I don't think Davante Adams played in every reception because he was, cradling some oblique injuries. And then after that first reception, he didn't play too much, though he was in consistently throughout the game. And as I said, Rome Odunze, I had a gut feeling prior to the game that I should put Deebo Samuel in over him early this morning, and I ignored it. And Deebo Samuel scored 20 points while Rome Odunze only scored like 6.8. So for the most part, my gut feelings were right. Caleb Williams scored less than Jordan Love, all that jazz and everything. But it's a close matchup, and it is going to come down to Monday night, which I love, but I also hate. We got a lot of close matchups this week. And I'm not going to go through them because there will be a recap for that. But I have in mind, for the sake of standings, people who I hope win and who I hope lose. But it looks like we're going to have an amazing finish for most of these games. So let's get it. So the clock is counting down to end the Eagles versus Detroit. And we might have a first time here, at least for this season, in the Tyrod Taylor Cover Band League. I think all 4 games are going to be decided on Monday night. There's none of them that are completely out of reach. The Lions ended up only getting 4 points, which put me up by 22 points. 22.1 to be exact. And Ashton Jeanty goes against the Dallas Cowboys. That could go either way. He's only had, I think, one other game where he scored over 20 points, and that's against Chicago. So it's doable. He is able to do this. His other one that he got close to was against Jacksonville, where it was literally 19.9. So he is able to win this game, but it is going to come down to Monday night, my game, 105.4 to 83.3. Then the defending champ, pardon me, goes into Monday night down by 0.15. He has Jake Ferguson and Brandon Aubrey left to play, who are both kind of on the same boat, where Jake Ferguson was position ranked number 1 overall as a tight end, and Brandon Aubrey was number 1 overall as a kicker up until about 2 weeks ago when the Cowboys hit their wall and have kind of struggled. Both of them will be going against another Cowboy in Javonte Williams, who's been clutch all year long. He's only had like 2 bad weeks, and they're not back-to-back. So he's probably going to have a good game. I would imagine score around 15 points. So if Jake Ferguson and Brandon Aubrey can combine, we'll see. That's anybody's game. That's a toss-up in the air, especially with Lou Boy only being up by 0.15. It's 89.6 to 89.75, which is crazy. Kansas City Kunai With Chain. Brandon, you conceded way too early because Jahmyr Gibbs scored 20.6 points, while Amon-Ra St. Brown only scored 6.2. That's the benefit of being a running back over a wide receiver. And now Monday night literally is going to come down to CeeDee Lamb versus George Pickens. Which Dallas Cowboy is going to get more points? Because Brandon currently leads by 0.30 points. So it's going to be a crazy come down to this. And then possibly the biggest margin, but also two big-time players and clutch. LaMarvelous Chase up 144.15 to 92.9 of Punishment Incorporated. Punishment Incorporated, however, has Dak Prescott going against the Raiders and Brock Bowers going against Dallas. So he could easily make up that, 52.8 something points. It's totally doable. Every single one of these is winnable, and this is the first time it literally, all four of them, come down to Monday night. I look forward to seeing it, guys.
So, guys, after that last video, I'm not going to lie, I closed out of my football stream. I closed out of my ESPN stats. I was just convinced it was over, and with another loss, the best I could finish is 500, and I feel like at best that puts me like in the top spot of the consolation bracket, you know. So I was feeling down, I'm not gonna lie. And then I checked the scores finally at 3 a.m. just now, and I'm somehow winning by 0.3. So it's literally me with CeeDee Lamb versus him with Pickens. I still have a gut feeling that Pickens is going to be the one to go off. I don't know why, but I just feel like he is. And I already said GG to Alex clearly because I felt like it was done for. And I still kind of do, but obviously it is CD. But the last couple weeks he's only gotten like 14, 15. So just not quite producing CD. I want to say Pickens has outproduced him between the two games, but I could be wrong on that. Don't quote me. I haven't been keeping track of Pickens like exact numbers, but it's gonna be a close one. It's a booty clincher heading into Monday night, and win or lose. Well, nope, I can't say that. I was going to say, like, win or lose, we did a good job. But really, I need the win here. I need it for the season to continue. I know Alex probably wants to win and keep his first place spot, but he doesn't need it like I do. He does not need it like I do. He's guaranteed a spot at this point. Even if he lost every game for the rest of the year, he'd be over 500. That's not the case for me. I have 4 whole wins, brother. So, it's a lot riding on me for him. It probably is a lot riding on him, too. I would want to keep my first place spot. He's on a winning streak, so... yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry I'm so long-winded. I should keep these shorter, but, yeah, we'll see what happens. So, it just occurred to me that all day I've been referring to the final 2 games of my matchup as the 2 games tonight, when in fact one of them is a Monday game. Cowboys in Vegas, I think. So I just wanted to correct myself. 1 game tonight, 1 game tomorrow on Monday. There we go.
I am pleased with how Monday night turned out because, ladies and gents, never punished. The Zan-State Fur Assassins have won our game in spite of having I don't want to say it's our worst fantasy week, but it kind of was performance-wise because, like, even if you look at the bench, Deebo Samuel was the only one we made a mistake of. Whereas we had another week where we only scored 76 points, and it's all because of decisions that I made. I went against the grain and played very stupid matchups and played people that should have been on the bench and played starters on the bench and did all sorts of stupid stuff, so I deserved that loss. But this is the one where my team literally performed the worst it's ever performed, and somehow Travis's team just unfortunately did even worse. Who would have thought that the Raiders would have played as bad that they did against the Dallas Cowboys defense. And I can only say the Dallas Cowboys did it for their boy, the guy who just, I can't think of his name off the top of my head. And that's disrespectful. Recently took his own life. All I can think is the Dallas Cowboys did it for Marshawn Nealon, the guy who recently took his own life. And the Cowboys stood together and held the line and destroyed the Raiders, which isn't hard to do, but it was a statement victory for sure. Made for some interesting matchups. Unfortunately, Brandon did take the loss in that one in his matchup against Killer Kowalski, and I'll just straight up say it right now, I was rooting for Brandon in that one because I want a shot at the first place spot. And so I was hoping that Killer Kowalski would have taken the loss in that one because it literally did come down to George Pickens versus CeeDee Lamb. And Brandon all along said he had a gut feeling that George Pickens was going to have a great performance, and his gut feeling wasn't wrong. He ended up losing. But it was a great matchup, probably the matchup of the week. Maybe if LaMarvelous Chase versus Punishment Incorporated existed, because he edged it out 144.15 to 143.1. Dak Prescott put up an amazing performance. I honestly, and Richard already pointed this out, if Dak had not fumbled the ball early in the game, he would be up by a single point right now, and he would be victorious. I was low-key voting for LaMarvelous Chase to win this because of the playoff positioning. I want my position to be fully secured, and if it's at the detriment of everybody else, that's perfectly fine. That's fantasy football. It's nothing personal, but that's just how it goes. And then unfortunately, I will say unfortunately, Pardon Me ends up getting the victory. In spite of Saquon Barkley not performing well, I was kind of sad that he didn't perform well for him. But again, for playoff positioning, I want all of the top teams to lose so that I can keep going up. I want that number one position, dang it. And I want to see the Lou Boys start winning some games. Unfortunately, that was not the case, and Pardon Me came out clutch, and he's the defending champ. I can't be mad about that. I'm not mad about anybody who won winning. Like I said, it's all for the sake of strategy because I want to be in the money. But great match to everybody all the way around. That's just how the cookie crumbles. And if you want to be a part of a video diary, a vlog, whatever you want to call it, let me know if you are a part of our group, and I'll get you set up to be able to upload to the Drive. It's very simple. You just record a video on your phone, go to the Drive app on your phone, and then upload this straight to it. So let me know, and that's the end of this video. So recap coming soon, guys. Bye.
What's up, guys? Well, there you have it. Hats off to Kowalski. The better team won. You remain in first. Good luck to you in the playoffs. Give everybody a heck of a run. I kind of owe you a thanks, to be honest. I honestly had hopes that I could still make the playoffs until this game, and then after losing to you tonight, I decided to check the schedule just to see how realistically I could maybe get to 500. I play the three of the best teams in the league to finish. Pardon, then Alex, then Punishment. So, really, I had no chance at all. And, yeah, I don't know. I've just been fooling myself. So, for the second straight season, I'll be playing for the Losers Cup. Yeah, it's awesome. So maybe I can find like a gimmick or something to keep myself entertained. Well, good luck to everybody moving forward. Again, congrats to Alex and everybody else who won this week. And yeah, Tyrod's gonna be starting. Woo!
I have to end with this video because I feel like a couple of people, based on how I've talked to him, not just Brandon, but a couple of people are kind of feeling down on their fantasy team this year. And rightfully so. It's been a weird year all the way around. But Brandon, I will hopefully talk your team up just a little bit here. Let me see if I can get to the schedule. We'll start in week 8 because that's where your team really started hitting its stride. You scored the most points with 177.1. And then in week 9, even though you didn't, outscore everybody, you continued your winning streak against James Chase, who just beat Richard, showing that anything is possible in this league. And then in week 10, if I hadn't put up my ridiculous week of 212, you would have had the highest scoring team that week. So your team is good at producing, because even here in week 11, you had 170 points, better than anybody from this matchup. You just happened to go against Alex Koala, the number 1 team in the league, who put up more points than you, only 13 more, and you were second overall. And I know that doesn't, make you feel good when you lose a game. It doesn't matter how much your team point, you just look at the loss. But your team is one of the juggernauts of the league, in my opinion, right now, with how it's been playing. And so if you don't believe you can win, there is something you can do. You said you were looking for a gimmick. Your gimmick's literally built into your team's name. You can be the trap card that prevents other people from making the playoffs. If you don't think your purpose anymore, even though freaking Drake May is projected to score 36 against Cincinnati's terrible defense, then you can be the playoff spoiler. When you go against me, go in against me hoping to knock me down a peg. When you go against Richard, Punishment Incorporated, hope to ruin his playoff chances. Be the spoiler, because that's what you have. There's written storylines in itself, and maybe through those things you can still somehow make it. If any of our teams falls on rough patches, anybody can still make the playoff. If I'm not mistaken, only one person, I believe Alex did secure his win. I think the recap officially said it, and even though it's not showing 100% yet, I don't know if it shows 100%. Even though it's not 100%, there's still 3 playoff spots, though very high in percentage right now. Could change at a moment's notice. So don't give up hope. Keep pushing forward and find purpose in the midst of the league, because there's plenty to look from. Lou Boy, LaMarvelous Chase, Kansas City Kunai With Chain, and even the Cleveland Chubs, who's still in the money, by the way. Be that spoiler. Continue to play hard, because this is the tightest I've ever seen standings for a fantasy game. It's usually one person's way at the bottom with a single win, one person's at the top with a single loss, and everybody in between, it just kind of peppers out perfectly. Whereas this one, it's tight all the way across. And that's what I love about the Tyrod Taylor Cover Band League. We're making our dude proud. Not only is Tyrod Taylor starting moving forward, we're emulating his fighting spirit. And we are more than just a cover band.